50 Cent dropped something on social media, you already know it's about to be crazy. But when he revealed that Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, is allegedly reaching out to Puff while he locked up, man, the streets started talking different. Cat Williams dropping bombs, Gene Deal spilling secrets, and a whole web of connections that got people asking questions they should have been asking years ago. Let's get into it. Alright, so it all really heated up when Cat Williams sat down and just let it all out. You feel me? Now, Cat been known for speaking his mind, but this time, man went nuclear. He started naming names, talking about gatekeepers, exposing how the industry really moves behind closed doors. And when he started mentioning Diddy, the whole internet just stopped. People was watching that interview like, wait, is he really saying what I think he's saying? Cause see, Cat wasn't just throwing shots for entertainment. Nah, he was talking about patterns. He was talking about how certain powerful figures in Hollywood and the music industry been moving in ways that everybody knew about, but nobody wanted to say out loud. And that's when the floodgates opened, fam. Social media went absolutely insane. Old clips resurfaced, old interviews got re-examined, and people started connecting dots that been sitting right there in plain sight the whole time. 50 Cent, being 50 Cent, he jumped on this, started posting, started reacting, basically co-signing everything Cat was saying. And that's when he dropped the bomb about Gene Deal. Now, if you don't know who Gene Deal is, let me put you on game real quick. Gene Deal was Diddy's bodyguard back in the day. We talk in the bad boy era, the height of all that glitz and glamour. But here's the thing about being somebody's bodyguard. You see everything. You in the room when nobody else is. You there when the camera's off. You know what really goes down. And Gene, man's been dropping stories for years now. He been on podcasts, interviews, YouTube channels, just casually revealing some of the wildest stuff about what he witnessed while working for Puff. We talking about bizarre incidents, strange behavior, questionable situations that he saw firsthand. And every time Gene speak, people either laugh it off or their jaw just drop because they realize, damn, this man really was there. But here's where it gets interesting. Gene Deal's name keeps popping up whenever controversy surrounding Diddy gets brought up. It's like clockwork, bro. Something come out about Puff, and there go Gene with another story that just adds fuel to the fire. Now, 50 Cent revealing that Gene been in contact with Diddy while he's locked up, that's a whole different level of intrigue. Like, what they talking about? What Gene trying to say? Is he warning Puff? Is he trying to make amends? Or is something else going on that we don't know about yet? The streets want to know, fam. Now, this is where things get real uncomfortable. And I gotta tread carefully here, because we talking about some serious allegations and connections that go deep. Gene Deal, over the years, has spoken about Diddy's connections to powerful men who later got exposed for some horrific stuff. We talking Harvey Weinstein. We talking Jeffrey Epstein. Names that make your skin crawl when you hear them now. And look, I ain't saying Diddy was involved in what they did, but what people are saying is that these circles overlapped. These powerful men knew each other. They moved in similar spaces. They had similar access to influence, money, and control. And that's what got people questioning. How much did everybody know? Who stayed silent and why? See, Harvey Weinstein had a whole system around him. Trusted figures, respected people who gave him credibility and access. Survivors of his abuse said they felt safe because of who was around him. That's how manipulation works at that level. You use reputation as a shield. Gene Deal has suggested that similar dynamics existed in Diddy's world. Power, reputation, fear, all used to keep people quiet. And when 50 Cent started amplifying these connections, it wasn't just gossip no more. It became about accountability, about asking why nobody spoke up when they shoulda. Here's something else Gene Deal pointed out that's mad important. When scandals go public, watch how fast people distance themselves. Think about it. When Harvey Weinstein got exposed, how many people in Hollywood suddenly acted like they ain't know nothing? Like they wasn't at the same parties, the same events, the same circles? Same thing happened in the music industry. When somebody fall from grace, everybody who was close suddenly got amnesia. They don't remember nothing. They wasn't really around like that. It was just business. Gene said this pattern been happening for decades, and instead of addressing past relationships directly, powerful figures shift the narrative. They put out statements about broader issues instead of their own actions. Critics call this damage control. Gene calls it protection through silence. And 50 Cent? Man been calling this out for years. He said the industry rewards people who stay quiet more than people who tell the truth. You speak up, you get blackballed. You stay silent, you get protected. That's the game. Alright, so let's talk about what really got people shook about Gene Deal. Reports say Gene was present at events and environments tied to Diddy's most infamous behavior. We talking about situations that when Gene described them, you sitting there like, nah, that can't be real. Now that 50 Cent pushing these stories back into the spotlight. People going back through all Gene's old interviews. They watching clips they dismissed before. And now they asking, was he telling the truth this whole time? Gene also allegedly said that Diddy would discuss exploiting artists, people who trusted him, who signed to Bad Boy thinking it was their big break. He mentioned Danity Kane specifically, talking about how control wasn't just business, it was personal. And when you think about how many artists over the years complained about Bad Boy, how many said they got manipulated or taken advantage of, Gene's stories start hitting different. Let's get back to Cat Williams for a second, because his perspective on this is crucial. Cat described industry gatekeepers as people who control who gets access, who gets success, who gets to make it. And he said certain figures protect specific individuals while blocking everybody else out. According to Cat, your career could be controlled behind the scenes without you even knowing. You think you just ain't getting the right opportunities? Nah, somebody decided you wasn't getting them. He said the industry operates on silence. You want that deal? Stay quiet. You want that feature? Don't ask questions. You want longevity? Don't expose what you see. 50 Cent backed this up heavy. He said the game been rigged, and people who benefit from the system will do anything to keep it intact. That's why when Cat finally spoke out, it resonated with so many people. Because they knew, they felt it. They just ain't had the platform or the courage to say it. But Cat, man said he don't care about being blackballed again. He said exposing lies matters more than protecting his career. And that's the energy that got people inspired. Now, we can't talk about this without bringing up Cassie's lawsuit, because that was the moment everything shifted. For years, people whispered about Cassie and Diddy's relationship, whispered about control, about abuse, about things that didn't seem right, being manipulated and isolated. And when her claims went public, people started going back through old interviews where she looked uncomfortable, old appearances where something seemed off. 50 Cent was one of the first major voices to openly support revisiting these allegations. He said the truth was overdue. He said people been protecting Diddy for too long. And that's when Gene Deal's accounts got even more attention. Because if what Cassie was saying was true, and the evidence suggested it was, then what else was Gene telling the truth about? The dominoes started falling, fam. But it ain't just about individuals, yo. This goes deeper. Allegations of abuse, cover-ups, and legal disputes been surfacing around institutions connected to these powerful names for years. Lawsuits filed, settlements reached, NDAs signed. And here's the thing about settlements. They make problems go away without accountability. Money changes hands, paperwork gets signed, and the truth gets buried. Gene Deal pointed out that this is how the powerful stay powerful. They don't just have money, they have lawyers, they have influence, they have people willing to make problems disappear. And when you look at how many cases got settled quietly, how many questions never got answered, how many victims never got justice, you start to realize this is systematic. This ain't about one person. It's about an entire structure that protects abusers as long as they got the right connections. So now we back to the main point. 50 Cent revealing that Gene Deal is allegedly contacting Diddy while he locked up. Why does this matter? What does it mean? Well, think about it. Gene been out here for years telling stories, exposing behavior, basically becoming the unofficial whistleblower on Diddy's past. And now that Puff is facing serious legal consequences, Gene reaching out? Some people think Gene might be trying to warn him, maybe saying, yo, I know what you did, and it's about to come out. Others think Gene might be trying to reconcile, like maybe after all these years, there's guilt or unfinished business. But then there's a third possibility that got people really talking. What if Gene trying to get his story straight? What if he worried about what might come out in court, and he trying to figure out how to navigate it? We don't know, fam, and that's what makes this so interesting. Cat Williams said something that really stuck with people. When asked if he feared being blackballed again for speaking out, you know what he said? He said he don't care. He said exposing the truth, tearing down the lies, holding people accountable, that matters more than his career, more than his reputation, more than staying in good graces with people who've been doing wrong. And 50 Cent been echoing that same sentiment for years. He said silence is how corruption survives. It's how abusers keep abusing. It's how the powerful stay powerful. Gene Deal took a risk by speaking out when he did. He could have stayed quiet, kept collecting checks, kept his head down. Because in an industry where people disappear for saying less, that takes courage. Look, at the end of the day, this story is bigger than Diddy. It's bigger than Gene Deal. It's even bigger than 50 Cent or Cat Williams. This is about culture. This is about accountability. This is about finally asking the questions that should have been asked decades ago. For too long, hip-hop protected its legends at the expense of truth. We let certain behavior slide because of success, because of influence, because of fear, but the new generation, they don't care about none of that. They want transparency. accountability. They want justice. They want people held accountable, regardless of how many hits you got or how much money you made. With Diddy behind bars, and with voices like Cat Williams, Gene Deal, and 50 Cent refusing to stay silent, we entering a new era. An era where the past getting re-examined through a sharper lens. This ain't gossip no more, fam. This is accountability. And for a lot of people who've been hurt, exploited, or silenced over the years, this might finally be the moment they've been waiting for. So keep your eyes open, keep asking questions, keep demanding truth, because the story ain't over yet, not by a long shot. Stay woke, y'all. We'll catch you on the next one.